let's talk a little bit about your retirement. You retired, you said, from the police department in 1990, so about 31 years. I'd say your retirement has not looked like what people envision when they retire. You know, most people want to have a little bit of leisure and do some things for themselves, and maybe you've done some of that, but you essentially kind of took on a second career or furthered your career. I mean, why didn't you just retire and live a life of leisure?
I had a little motor home, and I had thought about, doing some traveling, and I did. Me and my wife and two of my sisters went out west for a few days after I retired, and but the thing about it is I got more enjoyment. I enjoyed that with them, but coming out Interstate 10 to the Lighthouse Children's Home to see what's going to happen that day, and to see these girls, and it meant more to me than a regular vacation or traveling, and so that's where my enjoyment's been. Is out here to see a life change, and that's worth everything, and I don't regret it at all.
Well, I think when God gives us, the Bible talks about giving us a new heart. He gives us a heart if we'll listen for those kind of things, and he moves our passions from maybe what it used to be to something new, and puts in us that desire, that love of seeing lives change and people impacted. So I think that kind of sums it up right there on why you spent your retirement here. What would you tell other people? I mean, if you think about it from a ministry standpoint, when people retire and they have more time, what should they be doing with that time?
You see, one thing that bothers me, there's a lot of things that retired people can do, even with us. We got one man that comes once a week. He sweeps the thrift store out, cleans it up, and helps that day, and eats lunch with us and all. But there's a lot of things that retired people can do, and instead of sitting around and moaning and groaning and their aches and the pains, if you get out and get busy in a ministry and see what's going on, it'll encourage you, and it'll really help you. And my sister, me and her is the only two left out of the family of the 12 children. She's 95, and if she was able, right to this day, she would be right down there running that thrift store. She ran it for probably 17 years, and she would leave at mobile home up here about 6:15 in the morning and stay to 7 at least, and I'd tell her, look like you could put in a few more hours, but she loved it, and they would also, if they got involved, they would love it too, helping people in ministries. There's a lot to do, and they can feel a lot of void there.
Right.
Retired people.
Well, I like, James tells us to be doers of the word and not hearers only. Yeah. And I think sometimes we don't look hard enough to see what there is to do.
Right.
If we look around, and a lot of that stuff, I think we over-spiritualize things sometimes. Sometimes being doers of the word means coming down and sweeping out the thrift store.
Right.
So just encourage people don't get into that rut of just sitting around, certainly doing nothing. And if you want real fulfillment, there's nothing wrong with taking a trip out west and seeing some country, but get involved in something that's making a difference in somebody else's life.
Something that's eternal, and it's like I said earlier, somebody's watching you.
Right.
And need to. Besides that engineer on the radio station, I had the privilege of seeing another engineer when I started at the other radio station, accept the Lord as his Savior. Went on to be a great Sunday school teacher, and both of them in heaven now. And it was just real. I see how the Lord worked in a lot of the situation with. Even in the radio, and so there's a lot to do, and we just need to be busy, because I think this thing about to wind down, and the Lord's going to be coming back, and we need to be busy.
Need to be working while it's day.
Yes.
Because the night is coming.